Your favorite compas of another jam-packed episode of the Four Compas Show. In this episode, we will get into the latest from the coaching carousel that is the NFL. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Ron Rivera interviews for the Arizona Cardinals job. Bill Belichick does not get into the Hall of Fame on the first time around. Could there be a conspiracy theory behind this? Fernando has that one. Mike McCarthy cries at his presser. Gilberto shows up at a training facility of an NFL team. We have everything jam-packed. And you know what, Gilbert? Let's throw it back to a video that Graham made for us a year ago.
Compas on the beat. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah. So we're compas.
Yeah, we are.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, all right. We got proof right there.
Some guy that seems like he's asleep. Need you to wake up, Gilbert. There's a lot of energy.
Come on, Gilbert. Let's go.
Come on. Dan and Dago is at Moe's.
I'll show you. I'll show you. I got it right.
Okay, that's it. You guys, I am done with mine, but that's couldn't get better than a 2026 6th-round pick swap for a 7-rounder. So
Freaking love you, Chad.
Hey, dude. Cool, man.
Compas on the beat, man. Derwin James signing off, man. Watch Compas on the beat, man.
Let's throw it back, Gilbert. Welcome to Compas on the Beat. I'm Fernando Ramirez. I cover the Chargers for the Sporting Tribune. With me, as always, my co-host, my tag team partner, Gilbert Manzano, covers the NFL for Sports Illustrated. What's up, bro? Got to see you today.
What's up, sir? Yeah, I finally got to see you in person, and I got to see the back of his hair here. Your brother's really impressed with my hang time there. But yeah, don't worry. I'll get a little trim before Super Bowl Radio Row, and yeah, I was gonna show up without a hat. I'm like, I can't control this thing right now. So yeah, showed up and got to ask a question to Mike McDaniel. You got to ask a bunch of good questions to Mike McDaniel that's all over the internet. So shout out to you, Fernando.
It's funny. Everybody kept on giving Gilbert shit. Like somebody texted Gilbert and they're like, "Hey, I'm glad you could Waze your way to the facility." And other people were like, "Gilbert, I hadn't seen that catch or that hair from you." So it was pretty funny to see everybody kind of welcome Gilbert back to the Bulls.
You guys know I'm full of excuses, but I also tell you why I don't like to go. I live in freaking Orange County, and these guys are in El Segundo, and man, I think I left my house. I knew I was playing with fire. I left my house at 8:30 in the morning. I probably should have left at 8. And I'm like, you see that GPS that goes from like, you'll get there at 9:30 to 9:40 to 9:50 to 9:55 because stupid traffic. And shout out to Mike McDaniel. He showed up a little late, which is not too late. Not Conor McGregor or Floyd Mayweather late, but like 10 minutes late. And, I got to walk in. I was freaking out. I was like, okay, am I here on time? And yeah, saw the whole gang, so it was good to catch up. But it is, can I say, a bitch to get there.
Yeah, no. Gilbert, but the way back, it was great. I told some of the Chargers PR, hey, why can't you guys do this at 10 a.m.? Like 10 a.m.'s perfect. 11,
Fernando, and then I avoid all the morning traffic. But I know you got to get going to San Diego, so for you,
yeah. But I thought it would be like a 50-50 thing, like. If we're being honest, like you get on the way back or whatever, and they was smooth sailing. Like I left the facility at 11:15.
Right.
Yeah, 11:15. I put in gas. By 1 o'clock, I was already in Mission Valley. So I was like, this is great. I literally love
50 minutes to get home compared to almost 2 hours to get there.
Yeah. So it was I'll take the getting there. It taking me almost 3 hours and me getting almost no traffic coming back. Than the other way around. But yeah, I drive to Cali 4 days a week from Vegas. Wow, Matthew, that's crazy.
What? Jeez.
That is nuts. 4 days a week?
Man, hopefully it's not a Friday, Sunday thing. That's the worst time to be making that drive.
Folks, just to let you guys know, as soon as the Four Compas is over, Dan and I will be jumping on to What's Up Bolts to break down everything from the Mike McDaniel presser. We'll get into some of the stuff that he said. Just to talk about that, I know we owe you guys. So Angel, as soon as this is over, jump over there. We'll be talking about all things Mike McDaniel. Gilbert, just obviously to get your thoughts, and then we'll bring the guys in to talk about everything else going on in the NFL. What did you make of the 45-minute Mike McDaniel press conference?
Yeah, definitely. you know, like you guys know, I'm picky when I make the drive, but Mike McDaniel was worth the drive for many reasons besides making jokes, and he's funny. But also he's one of the few coaches who's very open and candid with everything he talks about. Like he doesn't mind if like obviously he's been open about his past and dealing with alcoholism and dealing with a bunch of other stuff, and he's always been very open about it, and I like that about him. He's authentic, and I think that's why him and Harbaugh like were able to see eye to eye. Yeah, they're different personalities, and you asked him that perfect question about, do you guys think you're the same? He's like, yeah, we're the same guy. He's just taller, but they're very different. But I think both are authentic. They're both unique characters, and I think that's what makes them special in the NFL. That's why we go to a Harbaugh presser. That's why we go to a McDaniel presser, because these guys are different. They speak their own mind. But McDaniel, obviously, Harbaugh kind of has a lot of cliches, but it's a very unique style where people like feed off that and have confidence. But McDaniel, he's kind of slow with it. He has a punchline for everything. But he thinks about it. And one of the things I really like, to get to my point here, is like I wanted to hear about his philosophy that blends with Harbaugh, because one thing I think has been unfair with Mike McDaniel. Oh, he's a all speed, all gas guy, downfield attack. All he wanted to do with Tyreek Hill and Tua was go downfield. These teams were not tough in December and January, but I'm like, he came up through the Shanahans. He got to learn from Mike Shanahan. He got to work with Kyle Shanahan, and that staple and foundation is running the freaking football, the Shanahan scheme. So when he got the question about, hey, what was the overlap? What was the connection? It was like, that's where I got my chops, was the running game. And I think, honestly, people forget that the reason why Mike McDaniel went to a speedy offense, because the focal point was a prime Tyreek Hill. You're going to blend that around him to feed him, and obviously it didn't really get the job done, but it was a very successful stint for him. One of the best coaches in Miami since Dave Weinstein left in 2004, and that's a long-ass time there. So, to me, he shows he's able to blend the personnel to his players. Like I shouted out Justin Minter for that, yesterday. But having a thumper like Omarion Hampton, having hopefully healthy tackles and Alt and Slater. And then I like that McDaniel said, you know what? Yeah, we have a vision of the running the football, and that's what Harbaugh wants to do. But he's not afraid to evolve. He's not afraid to try new things. He heard that. It was like, all right, sign me up. And another thing, too, both sides here, which is a very telling sign about why they wanted to make it work. McDaniel said that, yeah, he wanted to take some interviews for head coaching positions, and obviously the Bills came about, the Browns came about, because he still has that itch to be a head coach. But he withdrew from that because he said there was a gut feeling that I got to stay here. I got to do this. He didn't even actually go to the interviews. He just didn't feel right about it, because after he thought about it, after he talked to his family, he said, I need to be here. And I think to him, look at Mike Vrabel, took 1 year off. Now he's going to the freaking Super Bowl. So what's the harm in being an OC for a year? Because I don't think he's actually been an OC, because when he was working with Shanahan, he was the OC. He wasn't calling the plays. So I think to have to figure that out, and then maybe as a head coach, that could be good for him in the long run. And the other thing, Harbaugh, shook his hand and agreed to this, knowing that this guy could leave for a head coaching job, not in a year, in a week. Like, they let this guy go and explore with the Bills and the Browns. That's how much he was like, you know what? We don't care. We're going to take our chances because you're good for us. You're good for Herbert. So to me, all around, there's not a big deal about having like maybe clashing personalities or clashing philosophies. I think these two sides really want to make it work. And that stood out to me in the presser.
When he said, God, what he's like, oh, he's almost selling me on going and buying denim pants. I started laughing. I'm like, that's pretty good. But yeah,
he quick. Just came like, how about Caprice?
Oh, I know, dude. I was about to ask him, were you a good test taker when you were in school? And he was going to go, why do you ask that? Well, is that why you didn't want to interview for the Browns job? Because you said, screw that shit. I don't want to take a test. Because, I mean, I was going to. I was really thinking about it, but then I was like, no, never mind. I've already gotten them for 4 questions.
You're feeling yourself.
Yeah, I was like, at the end of it, I was going to ask him that, but then I was like, no, because then it's him having to take a shot at by the way, I did kind of sneak a peek, and I don't think Jim liked my question about the offensive line where I asked him about, hey, the offensive line's been the thing here where it sucked. Like Herbert's taking a beating, this, that. And I saw Jim with his goggle eyes look at me, and I was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna see a red dot right here, and he's gonna take me out for that one.
Hey,
but
by the way, I didn't know that transition lenses was an old people thing. Mike McDaniel said that Harbaugh was trying to get him to wear some, and he was like, "No, I'm not 50 yet." I was like, "Oh, damn, okay." I thought they look kind of cool. They go from regular glasses to sunglasses.
Oh, dude, I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, it's just, and you can tell. And Dan was kind of the one. I mean, we'll get into it, but Dan was kind of like, yeah, he kind of took a shot at Greg Roman once or twice there when he talked about we need to simplify things for Justin. We need to not give him as much stuff as he's gotten in the past. And then what happens a couple hours later, and we'll talk about it right now. Joe Lombardi gets fired, former offensive coordinator of the LA Chargers. So we'll get into all that right now. But I just wanted to get Gilbert's thoughts on that because obviously, Gilbert, I value your opinion. We were both there. I wanted to see what your thoughts were. I'll give my thoughts on what's up, Bolts. I don't want to ruin that for Dan. But definitely, I wasn't surprised, but it was funny that his daughter sat right in front of you, and she kept on like looking at you. She would look at Chris, she'd look at me, and he tells her after, "You behaved really well in this press conference." I was like, "Yeah, I was kind of waiting for a Steph Curry's daughter moment, like where she ran up and kind of talking to the mic or something." I was kind of waiting for something like that, Riley, but nothing happened. So I was like, "Oh, okay." Like I was kind of waiting for that moment, and then. The funniest part is, guys, I'm sure you guys have all seen pictures of the Bolt. Well, the Chargers had a camera guy waiting right there, walking down the stairs, and we're like, oh, okay, so everybody turns around, and Jim and Joe Ortiz go, no, he's coming out of the door. He's coming, because we were all turned around trying to shoot a video, and they're like, no, he's coming through the door, and we're like, oh, okay, so we turned around, and we waited for him to come in. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, guys, we're gonna go ahead
real quick. I was gonna say I'm gonna give credit to Chris Rim because the family sat right next to him, and I'm like, he's gonna ask about. He asked about how the offense went pretty poorly the last 2 years in Miami. And I'm like, that's a tough question to ask when the daughter and the mom's right next to you. But he found a good way to ask it. And again, Mike McDaniel doesn't get flustered, does not get offended. Very candid response. But I'm like, man, somebody has to ask about the Miami days, and he asked, and the family is right next to them.
No, and he asked about getting fired like right before.
That's
like,
tough.
The way everything went down. But I mean, to be honest, like Mike is right. Tua did get hurt a lot the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And he still made it. I mean, he still made it work with the quarterbacks that he had and stuff. So I mean, they weren't getting blown out by any. I mean, some games, but other games they weren't really getting blown out. And remember, at one point they kind of benched Tua this year, and they went with.
He didn't say that part, but injuries and him sucking definitely played a factor.
I was about to ask him too. I was really feeling myself. I was going to ask him. So how does it feel going from the 5th overall pick to the 6th?
That's something you do on a day you catch him, just getting a coffee and you're just chatting with the guy behind the cameras.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that would have been interesting. But all right, let's get these guys in here and let's talk a little. I want to take them to Pittsburgh to hear a little something that we heard. Let's get in, Vic. Vic, are you there?
I'm here. What's going on, guys?
Is that a trophy? Baseball
World Series trophy?
Where?
The shirt
on your shirt.
On your shirt.
Oh no, the shirt. No, it's just a Nike.
Oh, it looks like it, right?
That's the first thing I thought. I'm like, do you have like a Dodgers World Series trophy?
No, no, I'm not going that. Like, I don't have that kind of money. I'm not spending that kind of money.
You can't buy them twice, back to back.
Well, that's what Dan was saying the other day. He's like, if the Chargers made it to the Super Bowl, I think I would go to that store and I'd probably drop a G. And I was like, Derek, 1K or whatever, $1,000. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, all right. But yeah, a lot of interesting stuff going. We might have to start with the biggest news of the last hour. But all right, let's get in an individual who's excited about the OC of the Chargers, an individual who was not here. Oh, no, he was here last week. He actually jumped on the Lunas Live last week. So let's get in this individual. Let us bring in Dan and Dago.
How are we doing? I'm unmuted, right? Everybody can hear me?
Dan, breaking news. Bill Belichick does not make the Hall of Fame First ballot. Oh,
Are you
I'm barely
serious?
telling you.
Oh, you didn't know this?
Dude,
He didn't make it.
no,
He did not
no.
make it.
I need to get on the
Oh.
phone with my Hall of Fame guy. That's ridiculous. That just shows you what a joke this whole process is.
What way don't say the name. What way do you think he voted?
You gotta find
no.
out. Yeah.
He said no, probably. He said, I don't like him and his 24-year-old girlfriend and da-da-da-da-da. I don't care. The man won 6 Super Bowls. He dominated for 20 years. Like,
Man.
okay, I'm not talking about, the D coordinator ones. Yeah, I forgot about those. But,
Dan,
as a head coach, alone,
according to multiple reports, they
who
said
got
that
in?
Bill Polian was the one dissuading all the votes, and them to remember about Spygate, Deflategate. Then Gilbert's coworker Matt, hold on, Gilbert's coworker Matt called Bill Polian, and Bill Polian said that that's all bullshit. That's not true. That he actually voted for Bill Belichick. So my thing is, and I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but Robert Kraft is supposedly going in this year. Who wants to bet that Robert Kraft was the one that said we ain't going in together? We aren't doing this. I want to be celebrated by myself.
What a mess.
I feel like that's unless it's vendettas, like Mike Freeman right now tweeted out. Mike Freeman NFL just tweeted out. The Pro Football Hall of Fame isn't some mechanism to punish people or settle old scores.
Exactly.
You don't make Bill Belichick wait a year as disciplinary action. He's a Hall of Famer. He is and of effing course he is.
Exactly.
And I have a quote here for you guys if you guys are ready. Quote, Bill Polian told some voters he believed Belichick should, quote, wait a year before induction as penance for Spygate, the 2007 cheating scandal that cost the teams a first-round draft pick. End of quote.
Gilbert, before we start, real quick, Mike McDaniel was wearing a Bodega Veneta jacket that's I don't know what style it is. $12K.
What? How do people even know this? But it looked pretty nice.
I just read online. Somebody put it on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh shit!" But Gilbert, give me your thoughts on Bill Belichick not getting into the Hall of Fame as a first ballot.
Yeah, this is actually my takeaway here. This is total bullshit. Like, honestly, this is what's wrong with pretty much all the Hall of Fames, but especially the NFL Hall of Fame voting process. And it's all about, okay, do I like this person? Was this person nice to me during their career? Like, was this person a saint? Did this person go to church every day? Did this person give to the poor? This guy, not lie on his taxes. There's like a bunch of BS that goes into it. Doesn't even have to do anything with football here. So where the hell was it? I had it here somewhere. Here, my banner. The Hall of Fame voters blew it with Bill Belichick because, like, what else do you got to do? Like, he won 6 Super Bowls. I think he went to 10 or 9 Super Bowl appearances with Tom Brady. He also won, because he lost 2 with Eli, lost 2 and Nick Foles. So
Eagles,
9. I don't even know if you're counting the whole stuff with the DC. He was a great DC.
He won 2 with the Giants.
Yeah, so like, is this everything we're factoring? Or like, that's the dumb part too. Like, we're gonna factor in everything he did with the Patriots, even if you remove the stuff with the Browns and the Giants. Like, all you care about is what he did after, like with his girlfriend. Is that stuff that's really bothering you right now? The stuff that he did at UNC, is that really a freaking issue right now? Like, who gives a shit? Like, I get it. It's a mess. He looks dumb. He looks bad. But you could separate that. It's not that hard to separate the UNC stuff. Sure, if you want to talk about the freaking Spygate stuff, this and that, but like, after that, like, they still want to, but they had to reinvent themselves so many times. Like, I get it. Deflategate, I don't know. That's more Tom Brady. Spygate, that was on him. I get it. That's a bad look. But they, again, 9 Super Bowls, 6 appearances, 6 titles. Like, he's reinvented himself from not just the coach, the GM aspect. We're like, yes, there were some loaded teams in 07 when they didn't get the job done. 2011, they were loaded, but the Tom Brady team, like, that's all like savviness GM stuff. He also was a GM. He had players that he underpaid. He had players he got rid of 2 years early, but still paid off. He went from Gronk, a draft that was great. But yes, Bill Belichick's girlfriend right now want me to kill them from Waterboy. Regardless, there's so many things here that's coming to my mind. Like, he was like a genius GM, genius coach, master motivator. He even called out Tom Brady, the person you probably leave alone the most at a meeting. He was just always on your ass, and he found ways to maximize it. And another point, because I know you guys all have things to chime in. My last thing here, you don't think Mike Vrabel is benefiting from what he just learned or what he learned from his career from Bill Belichick? You don't think Mike Vrabel's taking principles and foundations from what he got to learn with Bill Belichick? You don't think he's taken from what was, because that roster, yes, it was tossed upside down, it was revamped, but there's still a lot of people there who got to work with Bill Belichick. You don't think this brought everything together for Mike Vrabel to go to a Super Bowl? I get it, Mike Vrabel did the heavy lifting, but everything was in place, everything was familiar, everything was ready to go because of what everything Bill Belichick built in the last 25 years. But hey, I guess his girlfriend was annoying, and we don't want to get onto the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me. Like,
okay,
the biggest thing that you didn't mention, also, just the last thing, because everything you said is correct. You know, everybody screen record this moment. We're on the same page. He's second to Don Shula in wins, I think, right? Don Shula is the one with the most. He's 20 games away. Like, what are we even talking about? And no offense to anybody, but I'm sure if you look in the Hall of Fame, there's plenty of women beaters and things like that, you know, they still got in. We're not going to hold those legal. Allegedly, we're not going to hold those legal things.
OJ's in there.
Yeah, you know what? And so's Brett Favre, and he, you know, sent.
There you go.
Yeah,
Allegedly
OJ is.
Wow,
OJ
I like
is
that
in
from
there.
Dan.
Yeah, OJ is in there. Brett Favre's in there. Like, what are we even talking about?
This was after he murdered people, but yeah.
Yeah,
allegedly.
but still, I mean, they could have pulled him
no,
out.
before. You mean before?
They could have pulled him out. Good point. Good point.
They could have pulled him
He was
out.
in the Hall of Fame before he did all that.
But that's why, again, when these leagues try and, you know, give me moral lectures, I'm like, please just be quiet, dude. I don't even want to hear it. You guys are the biggest fraternity of scumbags and weirdos, and it's like you're going to hold out basically arguably the greatest head coach of all time because of, you know, some naughty thing with Spygate that was, you know, it was proven, right? Because he got penalized for it. Yes. But I mean, it is what it is. He served his penance. He did it, you know, he paid his debt to society, so to speak. Like, you know what I mean? And again, like, I just don't understand how this guy's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm curious to see who's on the list. So,
well, it was they chose him, like him and Robert Kraft were like they were the two that were.
Well, I don't know why you would put. No offense, I don't know why you put Robert Kraft ahead of him. He was the guy on the field.
Same, he's just the owner.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't understand why.
Sorry, Dan. They haven't announced the actual Hall of Fame process. I think
they just announced that he didn't make it.
Yeah, it was like a leak before the news came out, and that's why everybody's
crazy. That's crazy. Like, you know, again, I would challenge anyone to look for a head coach who dominated the league for 20 years. You know, the Chiefs have only done it for 5 or 6. And look at them. They already kind of, you know, well, God willing, they're gone. But you know what I mean?
Hey, they're saying that Travis Kelce might come back, Dan.
God, for what? Hopefully Derwin will take him out. But again, like, allegedly. I don't think you've ever seen a more dominant. What the hell is that? Oh, I don't think you've ever seen a more dominant, you know, so to speak, reign from a head coach.
And he did it twice.
And he did it twice because he won, I think,
leg,
the 3-peat and then the next 3. Yeah. Either way, there was a point he went to 5 Super Bowls in a row, I think. Lost to the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think beat the Seahawks. I think lost to the Eagles. Or you'd have to look it up. I'm not
beat the Rams.
Sure.
Yeah, I think
beat the Rams. But there was something crazy like that where they were in it like almost 4 or 5 years in a row. And you're just like, you know, that doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen because he has the best players.
Yeah.
So
beat the Seahawks, lose to the Eagles, beat the Falcons, and then
beat the Rams.
Yeah,
I don't know if that wasn't back to back though. I think,
but it was like within like a 6-year period where they were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I think it was was a Broncos in between. That's probably what it was.
Oh, Broncos.
Which was 10 years ago.
But they were still in the AFC Championship that year because they wound up. They went to Denver and they got the shit beat out of them.
That's why I'm saying,
Vic, why don't you?
I have 2 points here, and I'll be quick with this. The first one is Robert Kraft. I have a big issue with owners being in the Hall of Fame. What is the purpose of the owners being in the Hall of Fame? Like, what did Robert Kraft do? Like he's not in the Hall of Fame if it isn't for Bill Belichick. Like he doesn't have all this success without Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. The fact that he's in before Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, to me, just looks bad. It just looks bad on every level. I just don't understand that. The other thing too with Bill Belichick, like, and we kind of talked about it last year with the DC for the Chiefs. Like Bill Belichick should be in the Hall of Fame just as a defensive coordinator alone, and what he did with the Giants, and what he did in terms of what he did with the Patriots. And every single time, as Gilbert pointed out, like he was ahead of the curve. Whenever it seemed like, hey, Bill Belichick is starting to lose a step, he would come back and find the next gear. And so for me, like, I just don't understand this. It just seems like the vendettas that we're starting to see around the league, it just makes it look bad. And then the last one, sorry, I had one more.
You're good.
Look, there's so many going. Special teams.
Yeah, in terms of journalism, right? We keep getting just shit dogged by everybody, right? In terms of like, hey, this is why nobody wants to hear from you guys. Why you guys are so pissed. You guys are taking it out. When you do shit like this, it doesn't look good on journalism. It makes us look bad for people who are actually trying to do it. Guess what? Tomorrow, Pat McAfee is probably going to go on there and just shit all over journalists because of shit like this. It just makes the whole process look bad. And Pat McAfee is correct if he does, because there's people that shouldn't have a vote with shit like this. And sorry for cussing here, but it's just it continues on, and I just it's a big problem, and we need to fix it going forward.
Well, the thing is too with the vote. Well, I'm not going to get into the voters, but yeah, there's vendettas. I mean, if we're being honest, like Marshawn Lynch should be in the Hall of Fame, but why do people not want him in the Hall of Fame? Because he was an asshole to reporters. There's other people on there.
Fined.
You said what?
What was his line? I want to hear because I don't want to get fined.
Yeah. I was actually right there when he was saying it, like standing right in front of him. I actually asked. I was like interning and stuff, and I got a credential to go to the Super Bowl. And I asked him something, and he's like, "I appreciate you." He's like, "I'm just here so I won't get fined." I was like, "Oh."
That was the one where the Patriots and Seahawks play, and they're about to play again.
Yeah. Exactly. But I agree with everything that all three of you guys said, and I'll even take it a step further. I feel like Bill Belichick has, because of the Deflategate and the Spygate and all that stuff, I feel like sometimes he's overlooked at like his genius, and I get it. Some of that stuff is terrible, and then obviously the Cincinnati thing when they caught somebody in Patriots gear walking around in the press box in Cincinnati with a camera. But it's like Cincinnati was dog shit that year. They didn't even need that to beat them, but
that's how committed he is. He left nothing to chance.
But to be a coach that in the middle of, like, after he lost to the Giants the second time, people were calling for his head in Boston. They wanted him out. Why? Because they also wanted Doc Rivers out. They thought both of those guys were completely over the hill. They were both overrated. Well, not both of them were overrated. They thought both of them were done. They were right about Doc Rivers. They weren't right about Bill Belichick, because what did he do? He reinvented himself. He brings Matt Patricia up as his DC. He makes other moves. He brings in guys like Kyle Van Noy that we all knew him because he went to BYU, but nobody knew how good he was. Boom. He ends up coming over, and Kyle Van Noy, they start bringing guys over that you just had never heard of before, and they started making a difference. He went back to the old Bill Belichick where he was bringing guys that were outcasts on other teams, and they were all playing well. So, Tom, I completely agree with that. And Sean is only, well, don't get me started on Sean. But I definitely believe that there's a lot of good that Bill Belichick's done. He showed his defensive scheme. He's done a lot of good. Now, has he done bad in the last few years? Yeah, he drafted terribly. The last few years he was in New England. The way him and Tom went out was not the way I'm sure everybody wanted to go out. I know for a fact, well, I don't know for a fact, but I am sure that Robert Kraft is pissed off that Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay and won a ring, his 7th ring. So now he could have more than New England, more than Robert Kraft and more than Bill Belichick. Well, not more, but more in their time in New England or together. And I'm sure that pisses him off because he wanted Tom to stay and Bill said no. But hey, oh no, Bill wanted Mac Jones. Bill did not draft. I was about to say Bill drafted Drake Maye, but no, he did not. But still, I feel like Bill, no matter what you've thought of him the last few years, it doesn't take away the greatness that he had for years and years. And look at that scheme by Malcolm Butler said, I watched this over and over on film. Bill reminded me, hey, there's a play that there is where they're going to run this, and I need you to jump that screen. And what happened in the Super Bowl on the final play? He jumps the screen, he picks it off, and that was all she wrote. Russell Wilson should be in higher regard, but he's not because he got that ball picked off and it was it wasn't a touchdown. So to me, this is ridiculous. I do believe that Bill Belichick deserves to be a first ballot, but again, I don't know if I would go at the journalist more as I really feel like Robert Kraft had something to do with this. Like those guys, especially when people get older, they hold a grudge a lot longer than anybody. I mean, we've seen the shit that Arthur Blank, that Jerry Jones, that even Robert Kraft had pulled out of their hats now that they're older. So I'm sure he's pissed off and he's like, screw Bill Belichick. Let me go screw with him one final time. But again, and remember, he put a hand in there for the Atlanta Falcons not to hire Bill Belichick.
There's also that
a couple years back. So I'm just
put him in the old folks home with all the masseuses so he gets out of the way, dude.
Okay.
Like
allegedly,
28-3. No one else could have done that. Just think of some of these guys' careers. Yeah. If it wasn't for Bill Belichick and the Patriots, like
Malcolm Butler, perfect example, undrafted.
Yeah, Peyton Manning probably has more rings. Russell
I
Wilson,
can't even remember where I know Malcolm Butler signed a new contract after he left, but I just can't remember. By the way, if it wasn't for Bill and Tom
that year, he was like a nobody. Then he makes that play and becomes a Pro Bowler, and then he gets benched later in the Super Bowl a couple years later. But like, there's so many careers. Go ahead.
There's a certain player that ended up with the Chargers that we're not going to talk about that also got paid because of Bill Belichick.
Exactly, J.C. Jackson, scumbag, robbing my team.
Well, we're speaking about the late era of the Patriots. Like in 10 years, give me a trivia. Who drafted Drake Maye? People are gonna be like, "Oh, Mike Bravo. Oh, Bill Belichick. Gerard Mayo.
Yeah.
By the way, and just one more thing on. And actually, I got a lot of crap, but I'm just going off everything I missed. But we can spend hours about what he did to special teams and. Slater, is it Kelly? No,
no,
Matthew
Slater.
So I'm talking about what
Jackie Slater.
Who's Kelly Slater? The guy from the
surfer.
I'm surprised you even know that. I don't know.
But yeah, Matthew Slater, the son of Jackie. You're right. But dude, I could hear the guy talk about special teams and just all the little small details that he just pays attention to, and he found the advantages. But going back to conspiracy theories, Fernando, I think it is the reporters. I think they probably leaked it this early because they don't want to take attention from the actual Hall of Fame, announcement next week. They probably knew how heated it was. And here's the thing, and shout out to my colleague Matt Verderam to get that Bill Polian quote there. I don't even know if I fully believe him because. Maybe he did. He brought up the conversation. Like, you know what? Let's take a second and let's talk about it. And then he ultimately just said, you know what? I just want to be devil's advocate. Let's bring it to the table. Maybe got people fired up. But then at the end of the day, he still voted. I believe that part for Bill Belichick. And then he put on. Then he got tape himself. Yeah, and then he probably got pissed off when they leaked it. Like, what the hell? Why am I being the scapegoat here? Like, and it's true. He probably did vote for him, but like, he didn't say anything about starting the conversation. But I will be pissed off too. That should be a private conversation, and sure, go ahead and bring everything to the table. But to make him the scapegoat, I think is pretty shitty. But all these reporters that leaked it because they wanted to get ahead of it, to me, regardless, and it's hard to not to believe Bill Polian because he said we're not even allowed to talk about it. We're not allowed to share who we voted for, and he said, "F you guys, you have left me hanging here." And he said I voted for him. So, which he wouldn't lie about that part. I feel like, but overall, it's just messy. It's finger pointing. It's like it goes back to again what you said, Vic, about Pat McAfee having his rant against reporters. Like I mentioned to you guys that day, there's things I disagree a lot with, and there's some things I agree with. Reporters can be some of the most arrogant, pompous bastards out there.
I've seen too many.
There's a lot of them, and they think
Yeah.
their shit doesn't stink. They're high and mighty, and they're like the hall monitor. Like, hey, you don't get a pass through. You were not nice to me. And a lot of these guys probably been cover Bill Belichick for decades, and they're like, I hated talking to that guy. He never gave me anything, this and that, and they got butthurt. So, yeah, I'm done ranting about this here, but like, I definitely think it's so maybe Kraft, but reporters had the voters, I should say, hopefully to kind of not blend us together, reporters and voters, but it's gonna happen. They're the ones also screwing this up.
Before we move on, Vic, go ahead.
No, I was just I was gonna say, and it's Patriots Seahawks, and so I think that's another thing why they got ahead of it this week, so we can talk about it. I mean, there's nothing else going on this week, so I mean, if this is going to be the news cycle for the next 3 to 4 days until we get to Radio Row. So yeah, I'm with you.
Maybe Billy called him and said, hey, deny me to motivate the boys. So come February 9th, they go get number 7.
No, I don't think he wants him to get that other ring.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
All right. Just real quick, I wanted to see what you guys thought about this clip. I know I love clips. But I wanted to get Dan, I'm gonna go first with you after you see this clip, and let me know what you think.
All right, here we go. I thought at least be able to get started.
You need some color.
Oftentimes, coaches and players,
you need those.
You put on new team colors, and it takes a minute to feel comfortable in those new colors. But to be blessed beyond any measure, one day to put on the colors you wore since you brought home. I apologize. Brett, I told you not to sit my family down here in front. This is so unfair.
Looks like you
come
got
home from
Botox.
Mercy Hospital. I do want to thank Art Rooney, Omar Khan, Dan Rooney, and this city, this franchise, this fan base. It's just awesome to be back here. I do want to thank two men. I'm very fortunate to call friends.
Did it go away?
Mike Tomlin and Bill Cowher.
Yeah, I can't see it.
What did Dan? What did you think of the?
Look, I'm not gonna lie, okay, because I know some people were losing their minds over the emotion. That is really hilarious, Brent. That is really good.
I thought about it.
That is really good. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie. If I ever got the shot to be the head coach, at my alma mater, I mean, obviously there's no press conferences. I'd be pretty emotional. Yeah, I'd be pretty emotional because, again, you don't understand it because, and I'm not saying that to take a shot. But, like, it's just like if I ever got the chance to, coach Los Angeles Chargers, even if I was just a get-me coach, like, that's something that Rooney just rule. Means more than yourself. I'll be the Rooney rule. I'll be the guy, okay? It'll be so cheap. Just pay me $100,000 and fly me out there. We'll be good. But I'll take $50,000. But
stop talking. Anyway, I'm your agent. Get a hire.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, like in terms of the emotion, like I have no problem with it. Okay, because again, I know if I ever get that chance, I might be a wreck the first couple hours, finding out, I'm finally the guy. And again, there's something about coming home and doing that job that I'm sure is very emotional for him. In terms of what he said, I think it's fine. Pittsburgh's is everything. It's his hometown. Like I would be pretty wild also if I had to do it. So that's funny. But in terms of the hire, I saw that. And if you're right, hey, we got ChatGPT. That's the funniest part. Some of these fools didn't even probably use it. They're just like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not doing that from the get-go. But no, like, in all honesty, like the thing that I thought was curious is the hire because, again, I can't tell you how old Chuck Noll was or Bill Cowher, but I want to remember like Mike Tomlin was pretty young when they hired him. So like kind of breaking
7 years old.
They've all been young.
Nobody knew who he was.
Breaking from that is kind of interesting to me. And I think also, again, like you're getting kind of a veteran coach who's kind of, I don't want to say stalemated, but it's not like it was great in Dallas, right? It's not like it was great in Dallas.
They were 12-5 all 3 years.
They made the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, they were 12-5 all 3 years?
Yeah.
Really? So he just had a bad year. What, one or two? Once
Well,
or
He
I
twice?
couldn't
mean,
win in the playoffs. That's what it was. They choked in the wild card game against the
They
Packers.
plateaued.
Well, there
Yeah.
you go. Well, there you go. So it's
yeah,
kind of like
Dan
to
was
me,
right when he said plateau.
it's kind of Hilberto said that, but or Vic or
Oh, sorry.
whoever. I didn't say plateau, but it's kind of like to me
You look great,
a similar thank you. It looks to me like a similar thing. Because I mean, again, this is just being me and just with the names out there. I'm surprised they didn't try and lure a Minter type guy out there. But I guess they're so worried about the offense that that they're like, okay, well, we have to hire an offensive mind. But again, I just don't understand why you go with such a vet, especially a vet who has kind of had similar issues in the sense of what you're reminding me of. Because again, these seasons blend to me. Having the problem of being one and dones. Like, you don't hire a coach who's a one and done type guy in the playoffs, because that's when you're a problem. So again, that was the more curious thing to me, because I would have thought they would have tried to have gone younger, especially with some of the names that are out there. But I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see. Maybe they'll go 12-5 and at least make it to the divisional or whatever. So
maybe you don't like me. It's fine.
That's fucked up.
But I make you money.
That's exactly what I thought about.
We're gonna get
Yeah,
sued
he
by the
does.
Steelers.
You know what's crazy is that it looked like he
so,
got Botox or something, like his face got touched up. I was like, come on, dude. If you're gonna show emotion, show emotion. Don't be
This is the first hire of the son. So this is his first hire. It's been 20 years since they made a hire. I think this is the son's first hire. He decides to go with Mike McCarthy. I'm sure he sold him with who's going to know more about the Yinzers and about this city and about
it's
this.
a safe hire, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That's what it feels like
exactly.
to me. And that's why I'm so surprised the Steelers would have done something like this.
Well, I mean, if we're being completely honest, him and Aaron Rodgers benefited off of Mike Holmgren and Brett Favre. Like, that was their squad that they added Rodgers to, and they won. But these guys choked together numerous times.
Yeah,
he goes to the Cowboys, they choke together again. So that's kind. And what have the Steelers done in the last 10 years in the playoffs? They've choked, they've lost. So that's where I'm a little hesitant with this move. You're literally going to piss off a bunch of Yinzers who are not happy. They just want you to give the ball to Naj. But there's no excitement for this hire. I can tell on social media that a lot of Yinzers are really pissed off about this hire, and they're not happy that Mike McCarthy is the guy, because they feel like it's business as usual. You literally got the offensive version of, like, exactly what Angels just put, the offensive version of Mike Tomlin, which I don't believe it, because I think was he the one that was crushing watermelons?
Yeah,
was that
Mike?
him?
Yeah, Mike McCarthy. Yeah,
he was the one crushing watermelons. But again, I think this was a safe hire, like you said. I think there was nothing more that's going to come of it. And if he brings back Aaron Rodgers, and like Gilbert and I talked about yesterday, if they go old and they keep this old ass team, they're not going to go anywhere except for probably, like Gilbert said, a top 10 draft pick next year. I just don't see how they're going to be able to do anything with this team. But I mean, it is what it. And I mean, DK should already feel like shit, because his team is headed to the playoffs a year after trading him. So he got paid. Yeah, and you know what? That's probably what he cares about the most. But yeah. Vic, anything on Mike McCarthy?
You guys were a bit positive there. I'm just gonna light fire on this, because, like, how do you go from, like, the thing with the Steelers was that you appreciated was the fact that they always hire young guys, right? They were always innovative. They went in, they hired guys that you knew you were going to have there for 20 years. You had a chance, as you mentioned, to go get Jesse Minter or Chris Shula, like guys out there. Yeah. And then you just say, nope, we're just going to hire the old guy here. And did you guys know that Mike McCarthy is not right now the third oldest head coach in the league behind Harbaugh and Andy Reid? Like, you just like
John?
and like
Jim.
like he's
the
John older one.
Well, two Harbaughs, no?
Both Harbaughs?
One
no,
163,
John Harbaugh.
162.
Yeah, John Harbaugh and Or
Andy
who's
Reid.
older, Jim or John?
John's the older brother.
63,
Yeah, so
and
it's John. It's
John
John,
and Tim
Andy
are 2
Reid,
years
and
apart.
then Mike
Which,
McCarthy.
by the way, did you guys already talk about all the stuff coming out of the John Harbaugh with the Giants about who answers to who and all this other stuff? Or
Oh no, we'll
I
get
assume you guys
into that
already-
in a second. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just to me, I just don't understand. This is very uncharacteristic of the Steelers, and I don't know who it was that one of you mentioned that this could be a Pete Carroll, and Brett Gardner is saying it. Like that's where I'm at. Like this could be like if you're the Steelers, it could be a Pete Carroll thing where
That could
now
be a
you're
good thing,
just
Vic. They gotta stop
Yeah.
being in the cycle. They suck and the bottom falls out and
Yeah.
then fire him. That could be a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it might be one of those things where you're back in the same point here where you're looking for another head coach this time next year, and then you're trying to go get a young guy. So, but in terms of the hire right now, I understand why Steeler fans are pissed, and they should be. Like, you deserve better. And maybe, hey, all things finally come to an end where you finally don't pick the right head coaches, and that's just the way it goes in the NFL. Where we might see the Steelers have like one of those things where it's like you hire 4 coaches in a span of 7 years or whatever it is, like the rest of the league.
That would be crazy
Gilbert.
if that happened too, because then their whole history of having stable leadership kind of goes down the drain. Well, it doesn't go down the drain, but it would just be a turn of events. I'm kind of with Hilberto. I forgot to mention that, which again, screen record this part too, because we're on the same page. Maybe they do need to tank a little bit, try and get as much draft capital as they can. Maybe get rid of some of these older players. I know that's always tough, but maybe they do need to sink a little bit to try and reinvent themselves and regenerate. So,
yeah, the worst thing for this is one thing I'll add, because I already talked about it yesterday. Is like if they have another mediocre season where they're like 8-9, 9-8, one and done wild card, like either this is a successful hire and boom, they're scoring like crazy, which I don't think is going to happen, or they suck ass and they get the number 1 pick, top 5 pick, and then you start all over again. Something has to happen. Either you're moving on or you're starting all over. This middle stuff has been for too long.
Yeah. Well, also to your point, supposedly the next draft class is super good to go for quarterbacks. And maybe they're thinking, well, this is the guy we'll tank, and then he'll bring in his quarterback and he'll mold him into whatever he wants. Look what he did with Aaron and yada, yada. And a little, wait, did he get Jordan Love? No, right? No, that was LaFleur.
No, that was.
But yeah. But they'll like maybe he'll be able to do something.
Off Aaron Rodgers.
This is a good point.
That's hilarious.
They are the AFC version of the Saints. Like they just refuse to move to reset.
Yeah,
dude. By the way, I just saw the Saints are in the shitter again for minus 41 million.
Oh yeah,
the cap.
They still refuse. Yeah.
Yeah, but even they feel different now with what Kellen Moore did and having Tyler Shuck. Like they're starting to barely move.
Your guy, Tyler Shuck.
That's why, again, like I don't understand why these GMs survive so long. Some of these guys, like if you can't balance the books and bring in good players, but that's what I'm saying. If you can't balance the books and bring in good players, you should be fired. Like,
Hey Dan, you want to know a cool fact about the Saints GM? He was also the GM of the Pelicans at what point?
Oh God,
the basketball team.
Yeah, what the hell are we doing here? Basketball? Who cares about the NBA? It's not like the Pelicans have been ever that good.
If we're getting to the Joe Brady part, like it's gonna be a good segue. But like GMs are really, what are they really there for?
Oh, they just hired somebody.
Yeah, either they kiss ass to the owner and they fix the salary cap, and then eventually you get collective minds to deal with the personnel in the draft. Like your job individually, fix the salary cap, and then kiss ass with the owner. And to me, how do you not get that right? But yeah, Brandon Bean's another story here. But yeah,
it's like Gilbert said, you have to.
We bring the boom. That's what we do. We bring the boom.
Are you kidding me? You put that as a fucking sound?
Back off of that. Can I? Of what you just said, Gilbert? Because it's crazy. So like you guys got into the Jesse Minter hire yesterday, and then now the Joe Brady thing, and like you know how a couple of weeks ago we talked about with some of these coaches and these franchises. We talked about, like, hey, some of the mistakes that a lot of these teams made were they should have kept the genius in-house, but because they let him walk away, like we've seen with Mike McDaniel and some of the other guys like Liam Cohen, they're kind of regretting that. So like the Baltimore Ravens went out and got Jesse Minter, who was in-house, was another guy. They were like, well, he's available, let's go get him. And now with Joe Brady is the same thing. It's like, who would be, and I saw Greg Rosenthal make this joke, so I got to give him credit for that. Who would be the perfect hire for DC here would be Sean McDermott.
Oh, that'd be funny. That would be funny. That's funny.
But yeah, that's where we are with the coaching. Like I'm with Gilbert. Like it just seems like teams don't want to get rid of like a dude that's in there because they're afraid, hey, what if we just got rid of the next Mike McDaniel? What if we got rid of the next Sean McVay? What if we got rid of the next Liam Cohen? And I think that's why. But at the same time, you're starting to see that a lot of teams want to go younger. And I said, like, I hate to be the ageist guy, but it's a younger coaching league. And to Fernando's point yesterday, like not everybody wants that CEO that's going to be on your ass yelling at you. They want guys that are able to kind of be player guys.
Coaches. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's where we're at. And we're going to see, like, I kind of talked about it and we had a discussion a couple of weeks ago too, where it just feels like the CEO is going to get the CEO coach. It is just not going to be one thing and that we're going to see going forward. And, if you're a CEO head coach, you're rooting for Mike Vrabel in the Super Bowl because outside of him, we haven't seen anybody else lately kind of do well with it. So they're all getting fired or they're just getting let go.
Yeah, like, it goes back to the same thing. The job of a head coach to me, besides, I guess some of the McVays and the Reeds of the world, but like that's the job of a head coach to be the master motivator and run the team. Yeah, I saw that. I'm not even going to acknowledge it. You have to motivate and run the team. Like that's why I'm honestly opposed head coaches calling plays, just because, in my opinion. Okay.
Go!
Oh my God. I feel like that's gonna go kill. Like you're gonna walk away from this pod right now. But
sorry,
Dad.
All right.
I'll put myself in.
No, get back in here. He's gonna go run away.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry.
That's the never mind. I'm not even gonna
By
say
the way,
anything.
I used you as an example yesterday.
See, you do that. You do that to get me in trouble, to get me pissed. Like, so I'm not even gonna say anything.
I used you yesterday as an example.
Was it good?
No, yeah. I said like there's a lot of the kids that gravitate towards you when you're coaching because of the way that the style that you coach, where you get to know the players. I'm like, that's what I've gathered that's what Jesse Minter was for the Chargers. I mean, I asked Gilbert, I said, Gilbert, how many offensive players did you see say, shout out to Greg Roman, appreciate everything you did for us? Zero. On the other side, almost all the defensive players that have Instagram or Twitter, they put a message out there for Jesse Minter because they really liked him. Jesse Minter was exactly that way. Jesse Minter was a guy that would bring the guys together, that he would ask them, hey, what are you seeing? And I said, that's what I noticed that you do. You ask the players what their thoughts are. You ask the play, like you care about the players. And that's the same thing that I'm gathering that Jesse Minter did, is that he cared about his players. So he would try and that's what a lot of players like about him. And that's why obviously he's now a head coach, because of all the good that he's done. And it feels like this new generation is leaning more towards the player coaches than they are the guy that's just going to yell at you. And I told Gilbert, that's what Jim had to do. Jim was an asshole with San Francisco. He was an asshole in his first right during COVID. He kind of like switched the way he was and he became a player's coach. And that's when all the players started loving him and talking about how great he is. And that's why I told Gilbert, Navarro Bowman told us one time, I don't recognize this guy. This isn't the Jim Harbaugh that I had in San Francisco. And that's the thing. This new generation is gravitating more towards the player coach than they are the Bill Belichick's that yell at you all day, that are even going to talk shit to the starting quarterback, and like nobody's safe around them. So.
Maybe Jim's trying to make the Hall of Fame and be nice to people now, so he's learning.
There
his
you
lesson.
go.
Well, he knows how he can make it automatically. He needs to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it without a Super Bowl.
Yeah, or are they going to hold it back because of all the stuff that happened at Michigan? So like
San Francisco, everything.
Yeah.
By the way, Bounty Gate was the biggest crock of shit to me, but whatever.
But the Joe Brady, I understand where you guys are coming from with this. I thought that was just kind of like, you're gonna just promote somebody, like that usually doesn't work when you promote somebody like this. It hasn't worked in the last few years.
Yeah, but you know what that is?
So,
That's probably Josh Allen
massaging
talking to
Josh
Daddy.
Allen.
Like,
Yeah, no, and
he said
thing is, that was
Haley and
crazy
I
because
prefer.
I think Vic
Brady.
is the one that said it. When the hell have you ever heard of a player sitting in on a quarterback sitting in on interviews? Like they usually.
I've been
are
almost
away.
executed because I 100% support the owners and everybody else when they say, that old saying, the inmates do not run the asylum. 100%. You cannot have them, making decisions. Like that's why I always use LeBron as the example. That's why I can't stand him. Because every time he goes to a team, he picks the coach, he picks the players, he probably picks whatever they run, basketball wise. I don't watch that sport
shitted
anymore.
on him when he left.
It's a joke.
Pat Riley shitted on him when he left, and now Jeannie Buss is shitting on him while he's still with the team.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I like what whether it's true or not. I like what Steve Bisciotti said. I think that's his name.
I was gonna say that's your
like,
I don't know, huh? Not giving them.
Oh, I like that. I like that. He's like, I want all their opinions, but they hold no weight. Or I forgot what he said. What?
Yeah, he can have an opinion, but he has no power here.
Yeah, that's what it is. He can have an opinion, but because again, you have to make the best decision for 53 players in a whole organization. It's not the best decision for a single player who's the highest paid on the roster. And that's what I think these guys fail to understand. It's a team sport. You know what I mean? Like, that's why it's so frustrating sometimes with some of the, I'm against player empowerment, just FYI. I'll say that again. But
if you're coached by Dan, you heard it here. He does not
you'll have an opinion. Doesn't mean I'm gonna give a shit. So 100%.
All right, the way we run things on Compas is Gilbert doesn't listen to our opinions. He has all the power.
I'll try to ignore you right now, Vic, because I wanted to give Dan a congrats on his basketball victory that I heard about. 22-21.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's what I do. I coach basketball now. Apparently, that's what I do. So I try. Exactly. I do.
One of our
wait till I
buddies
start
goes,
coaching soccer.
One of our buddies goes, I'm waiting for him to be like, block him, like stick your hands in there and just block him. And I started laughing.
What was funny is so a kid was on the floor with the ball in his hands. I thought I was calling timeout, and I told the ref, I called timeout. What the hell? I thought it's like the NBA. He just starts laughing. He's like, or no, sorry, he didn't laugh because they all have,
suits.
No,
stick up their ass.
Well, I didn't want to say that, but yeah, they have to stick up their ass. They're not funny. But he was like, both players had possession, and mind you, this is the guy on the other side. So how he's telling me both have possession, I have no idea. I was like, he's like, and even in the NBA, you can't call a timeout, whatever. I'm like, oh, fuck this sport. What do I care? Like, it's ridiculous.
I was gonna say, I don't think you could do that.
I was pissed. I was like, dude, I called timeout. Like, what? Then I only get 2 timeouts the whole game or whatever. Like, I don't know.
What is it in college basketball? It goes to like turns of possession. I hate
that's what it is. Yeah.
Possession.
Yeah, I hate that.
The NBA is the only one that does a jump ball.
Get me back to football. I love football.
All right, let us go with our.
Let me get my 2 cents real quick on Brady, because this is the one I least like. This is why I will not be nice, because with McCarthy, I can see like a good point. Like if you crap out and you get the wrong pick, cool. But this one, what's the incentive here? What's the benefit? Like, one, you lose all the head coaching experience that you have from McDermott to a guy who's never been a head coach in the NFL, who also has to call the play. Hopefully he's not calling the plays. That'll be great. That'll be a good sign. So you have to go through the growing pains of somebody learning how to call decisions in the fourth quarter. You're trying to go to the Super Bowl. It's going to be tight game, situational football. What does he know about that? We have no clue. He's just only coached offensive football for the last, 10 years plus. And then the other part too is like, where is the creativity? Where is the new ideas, the fresh ideas they're supposed to get you over the hump? This guy's been in the building for the last 3 or 4 years. Where's the difference? So to me, I can't find anything good here. It just felt like, yeah, people are crying about Sean McDermott. 61,000 people signed the petition and get McDermott back. Somehow they're making me feel like McDermott should come back. They're ruining it. They're ruining this whole process. That's how badly they are. The Pagulas and Brandon Bean. Now you're trying to, kiss ass to the quarterback. Maybe that's a new thing, Victor. It's not the CEO. It's the who kiss ass the most here to get points with ownership. Like there's nothing here that's really feels like there's a win-win unless there's something I'm missing. Obviously, I'm not in the building that Brady's gonna be able to do it, but he was part of the failure. He was the reason why they couldn't move over the hump. Like he orchestrated a great offense for James Cook to be the rushing title champion. Sure, but how many times did we just watch Josh Allen say, F it, I'm gonna do the whole work here? Where's the coaching? Where's the coaching that makes his life easier? Where's the coaching that says, all right, Allen, don't put on the cape. We're gonna help you out. You don't have to throw 2 interceptions in the divisional round. So he was part of that failure. So you don't have the experience to coach big games. And also you're not bringing the fresh ideas. Unless you're hiring an OC who could help you out, then I'll start liking it. Other than that, even that feels very small victory here for this Bills team. But yeah.
Angel says it's Keon Coleman's fault, Gilberto.
Yeah, him too. Throw that guy under the bus too. I don't know how
Keon Coleman's stats are better than everybody else except for what's his name? Neighbors who got hurt. I mean,
Josh Palmer, and the other dude stole money. Like he had 0 touchdowns.
That was a terrible signing. I could have told them that. They should have flown me out there to be their Rooney Rule guy, and I would have told them in person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Zach Rosenblatt just tweeted out the Jets reached out to John Gruden about the idea of joining Aaron Glenn's staff. According to multiple sources, John Gruden was not interested in the job.
Yeah, of
good
course
for
not.
him. That's a dumpster fire.
I wish he would go coach
hopefully we see him next week. If we see him next week, the cowboy hat and the sunglasses are coming out, and you're interviewing him, Dan.
Yeah, could you imagine that? I just wish he would come back to coaching, man. Like, there was talk he was in for, I forgot if it was Indiana or what.
It was an OC job
for the.
Yeah, or like even if I wish he would just come back and be the OC.
Yeah, the Saints last year.
Yeah,
I wish he would go be the OC.
Yeah, but he's probably making too much money at Barstool.
Yeah,
but I mean, he already did that. He already did that though with ESPN, and he came out.
Yeah.
So,
Dan, if you talk to him, can you ask him? Are you still using an email? Or are you able to? Just not say
no, I'm gonna ask him. How does it feel being the first person to beat the NFL? Oh, sorry, the second. I think Trotter was the first.
Like,
no,
hey,
Al
man,
Davis.
I use Snapchat now. Everything erases right away.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. I got my private browser.
Was the first one.
Oh, there you
Davis
go.
was the first one.
How does it feel to be the third person to beat
give
the
our
NFL?
Our week takeaways? Vic, mine wasn't. My bad. I forgot to tell you this. That was mine. Like it just like that. Like a run for his money.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Okay. So let me go first. I'm just gonna be quick. Darnold is gonna give Foles a run for his money for greatest backup or greatest story told by a guy who isn't valued in the NFL, just because if Sam Darnold completes this and he doesn't throw a pick in that game, then everybody's going to talk about him getting thrown to the side after 14-3 with the Minnesota Vikings. They said we'd rather go with JJ McCarthy, and he got thrown to the side. He comes to the Seahawks. He has an up and down season. They still win 14 or 13 games. They make it to the playoffs. They blow out the 49ers. They beat their rivals where he threw 3 touchdowns and over 300 passing yards. And then he beat the New England Patriots. This is set up for that. Remember, the Patriots lose a stupid the Patriots lose average to below average quarterbacks in Super Bowls. And that's kind of their MO. That was their MO with Tom Brady,
baby.
And it looks like if that happens again, I think Darnold passes up Nick Foles as, oh my God, what a story he had because he did this or X, Y, and Z. And I think Sam Darnold's story would be greater of big dick Nick Foles.
What's crazy is it was funny. I saw a tweet of a quote of Sam Darnold after the NFC Championship game, and he just straight up said, "You like that, Gilberto? You like that? You believe me now?" So that was pretty interesting.
But Dan, you can go
next. I don't know. Okay. I still think, Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
No, don't
like
be
doing
humble.
this. I don't like
Don't be-
doing this. I don't do these things, but I don't like doing these things. But
Come on, Derek.
there was very few people who
Humble
knew
yourself,
the Patriots were going to be
Oh
in
my
the
God.
Super Bowl.
You did not
Very
pick them to
few.
go to the Super Bowl. Get okay.
Very few.
It ends here. Come on.
Very few. Hilberto laughed at me. Well, he's not laughing now, is he?
I picked them to make the playoffs. Come on. I wasn't laughing that hard.
You chuckled. That was enough. I got the
A
chip
little
on my
bit.
shoulder. I put in the call to Mike, and I said, "You got to
Wait.
show him up."
Did you pick them to make the Super Bowl when the playoffs started, or when did you pick them to make the Super Bowl?
Probably. Who did I pick when the
After they
playoffs
beat
started?
the Chargers, I think
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah. I said
Oh,
the
yeah, that's
Patriots
when you
are gonna go all
changed.
the way.
Okay. Sure, I'll give you credit.
Whoa. I'm just the guy wearing the Charger hat. Don't forget that. That's just
Yeah.
me.
Okay.
But
Hey, go ahead.
No, but I'm just okay.
Oh.
No,
No,
go
sorry,
ahead.
go
No,
ahead.
I was
finish
just gonna
that.
say,
Dan.
Yeah, keep,
I was gonna say
keep bragging.
for my buddy Brock's sake, shout out to him. Got some cool life stuff happening. He's a Patriot fan, so to have the Patriots win and then what he has coming to him, that'd be awesome for him. I'm excited. 'Cause I'm gonna
Those
try and
old
go get him something.
generations of Boston fans got nothing. Like the older generations, they
Oh,
got
I
the
know.
Celtics, but they
Yeah.
didn't really get anything else. And this new generation has basically seen the Patriots, the Bruins,
Yeah.
the Celtics,
Titletown.
like all of them win
Well,
championships.
Celtics kind of. They
It's
won
ridiculous.
one.
Well, they won
They won
two.
one.
They won
Yeah,
recently.
Oh, I
the
forgot
most you
that.
see them
Yeah.
complain about is the Red Sox. They just
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, but the
complain
Red
and
Sox
complain.
beat the curse of the great Bambino. So
Wait,
They
but
won
then they
twice
won
the
it.
World Series.
they've won it 4 times, I think.
Yeah, they won it
Yeah,
recently.
since
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
They keep winning. Well, it's
Yeah.
been like 10
That's
years, I
their
guess.
team.
Yeah.
I think Boston is a Red Sox. And it doesn't matter how many
I
more.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see more Boston Red Sox hats than you do Patriots or Bruins
Well,
or
it's
anything else.
iconic. That logo's iconic. But
Yeah, the
again, last
LA,
thing,
the New
just
York, and the
closing,
B for Boston are the three most iconic.
these
hats you
national
see.
guys are just lucky I can't do this full time, or I'd be killing it. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, 2 times Pick'em Challenge champion. Yeah, it's hard, man.
Back to back, baby. I'm gonna make a trophy. You just wait.
We should.
Wait till I three-peat. I'm gonna have a parade.
You should
Let's
take
get
a
a-
shirt to Radio Row
Yeah,
with
keep
that
back-
quote.
Exactly.
Look,
Back
Paul
to back
Jr. is watching
pickup
here.
challenge. Win.
Hey, when we're in Atlanta, the year that we're in Atlanta, we should make the loser of the Pick'em Challenge sit at a Waffle House for 24 hours.
Oh, I was so pissed. I missed a Waffle House while I was in North Carolina. I forgot about that. I was so pissed.
Who
But
would lose
no,
that one?
For Atlanta, we're gonna stay in the Stranger Things Airbnb. We're gonna see if we can do it.
That's a thing over there?
At the mall.
Oh, one. There's one. There's a Stranger Things Airbnb in a town of
Fine.
Georgia.
You have to the more you can eat of the lemon pepper Lou wings, the quicker you get out of.
Oh, we're going to Magic
Oh, are
City
we
too?
going to that establishment?
Yeah, so you
Are we
get to
going
go
to
there?
that?
Is that part of the
Yeah.
punishment?
Okay. Yeah. Let's
Yeah, there
go.
you
Let's go
We'll
see.
do a
Let's go
pod
see
from
how.
Magic City.
Exactly. Let's go
Not
see
really
how good the
punishment, but
wings
sure.
are.
Let's go.
Gilbert would
Adam,
well, never mind.
there, Mike.
I lose
You
on
guys,
purpose.
you guys wouldn't be anywhere near LA.
Oh, that was
You guys wouldn't work
hilarious.
in Vegas. All right, Vic, go ahead with yours.
All right. So I've seen a lot of people complain about the Pro Bowl this year, and they're like, oh, they're doing all these things. And I honestly think for once I'm gonna give the NFL credit here. I think they're making a smart decision with the Pro Bowl, and this is all focus and it's the NFL thinking about globally. Like they no longer care about getting fans here in the US. They have those with fantasy football, they have all that. What for them is trying to go global, right? Like going and getting Bad Bunny to be the halftime performer. That's a global thing. Doing the Pro Bowl with the flag football. It's them trying to be globally because that puts them in the Olympics. This is them trying to promote the 2028 Olympics here in LA for them to have flag football, for them to have a lot of these athletes from the NFL be able to make it and go to the Olympics in 2028. And then also you're starting to see a lot of leagues starting to pop up with American football in Mexico and Europe, because they're gonna want to get cheaper labor, right? You're no longer wanting to get labor from colleges because NIL is getting too expensive for them. So if they can plug players from Europe, from Mexico, from other places that are a lot cheaper, that's going to help them. And then you look at the other sports, you look at the NBA, they're going the US versus the world for their all-star game. You're looking at the baseball, they have the WBC coming up. You're seeing all those MLB players who are going to want to be in the Olympics in 2028 as well. And that's going to be, even if there's a strike or a lockout after this season with baseball, you're going to see a lot of those players play for their team in the baseball Olympics. And then same thing with hockey. You've seen it, right? One of the most exciting things we talked about there during the offseason was Canada versus the US. So all this is going for the NFL. They want to expand. They no longer care about the US fans. They care about making the NFL a global sport, because as you guys can attest, Dan and Fernando, the number one sport in the world is soccer, right? That is by far the number one sport. It travels worldwide. And so for the NFL, I think in 10 years they want to be up there, because right now they're behind soccer, they're behind baseball, they're behind the NBA in terms of globally. So they need to, and you look at I'm sorry, go ahead.
They make the most money out of every league, and they're trying to get even more greedy.
I mean, they're not carrying a minor league, or because I think the NBA funds the WNBA now.
Yes.
So that bleeds the money. I mean,
but football is just totally different from all these other sports. Like it is like an American base. It is still the most popular
agree with you.
sport and league in the country. But like, I get what you're saying, Vic. It is smart to be global, but don't attach it to the Pro Bowl. Get rid of that crap. Make it a flag football for rising stars and popular players, TikTokers, anybody who's gonna just bring in eyeballs.
God.
But now you're diminishing the Pro Bowl. I don't even care about the Pro Bowl. I don't care about the flag football. This is a dumb product. And then hey, come watch the stars of the NFL. Who's playing in this Pro Bowl flag football? Nobody wants to. Nobody wants to get hurt. Everybody's he played 4 games. Everybody's tired from the season. It's just broken. So I get the global part, and I get the NFL is greedy, but you got to dissociate from the Pro Bowl stuff. You got to fix that or get rid of it, because just make us focus on the All-Pro, but the Pro Bowl should not be associated at all with flag football, because the real stars are not playing. So that's my only thing. I know we got to get going, but I really hate how they're trying to mix it, because they're not the real stars, and they're trying to tell people. It's like, the flag football in Saudi Arabia is going to have the real stars, by the way. They're going to go see the real football players. The star players for that one is going to be legit.
Until one of those guys gets injured.
Yeah, but don't tell me if I'm a new football fan. That's going to be terrible. If I'm a new football fan who's seen the TikTokers, like, Shadur Sanders is the best quarterback in the league. Get the hell out of here. He is not. But I get it. You want attention. You want popularity. But the second that they added the fan voting to the Pro Bowl, it became a joke, and they're making more of a mockery. I even saw freaking, what's his name? Lights Out, Sean Merriman say what happened to the Pro Bowl, and I got a lot of, traction on Twitter. But it's a joke now, and they're still trying to benefit off of that, and it's not the real deal. It's not the same thing. I get it. We want to have it become soccer, but flag football is not real football. But yeah,
I agree with you on every single ounce of that statement. And just to piggyback quickly, it's like when WWE goes to Saudi Arabia, they always put the wackest cards together just because they're trying to cater to the Saudis or whoever. And it's like, dude, it's pissing off the regular fans. And I think the NFL has been pissing off its diehard fans for decades. And it's going to hit a boiling point pretty soon when they can't. To me, again, some of this drop hip tackle, some of these roughing the passers, these illegal contacts, that's not real football. What you're trying to do is for, people who should be, watching the Teletubbies, not watching this sport. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, football's not for everyone, and that's okay. You can watch it, but you have to understand it's a very violent sport. It's not for the faint of heart. So, I'm anti. I hit 2 nerves today. Anti-player empowerment, anti-football is for everyone. So there you go.
The Pro Bowl thing is my thing, and the Hall of Fame voting is my thing. But growing the sport, I'm okay with that. Making more money and making more attention, sure, go do it. But just get it away from the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl has become a joke.
Yeah, it is.
Gilbert, you're good with yours?
Yeah, I already did mine. I'm good. But yeah, I know you guys got to get going here.
Well, I just wanted to share one quick video. It's a good one. It's nothing bad. Listen to what when Todd Haley was the coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen to what Matt Castle had to say about that time.
I think I saw something about this.
Yeah, we had a full blowout. It was during a game playing Tennessee. This is for us to win the AFC West. He was getting after me all game long. And then third quarter comes around. I have a boot, pull up, didn't break contain, run back up. And I can already see he's steaming, right? And so we ended up punting. I'm coming off the sideline, and we get into a little verbal altercation. I said some things that I probably shouldn't have said. Deservedly so. He was hot. And I was like, Todd, that's not what we need right now. We don't need you coming over here. And he goes, F you, Castle, you're benched. So he won't talk to me. And he says I'm out of the game. Well, I'm like, I'm a team captain. We're in the third quarter. We're up by 10. This is to win the AFC West. I was like, and I did something I shouldn't have done. I ran back out on the field.
No way, that's freaking balls.
I did. And they won't give me a play in my helmet. So I call my own play.
Let's go.
So then they send Brody out on the field on the second play.
Bro, yep.
End of the game.
I remember this.
I walk off the sideline. I'm like, what are we doing right now? Right? I'm hot. Like back then, my testosterone levels were way higher than what it is right now. Quarter switches, Brody goes back out. First third down, throws a ball, gets tipped, interception. Now the linemen, everybody are coming up the sideline screaming. So I'm like, are we done messing around? And he says I'm still out.
So do you put Matt Castle back in there? I would. I'd say, hey, Matt, get warmed up again. You're going back in.
Next
Was he
series
the
comes
head
up.
coach or the OC at the time? I forgot.
He was the head
He was the
coach.
head coach.
Wow.
He was the OC of the Steelers.
They won't give me plays again. So now I call my first three plays. We get a first down, and all of a sudden it's, all right, Cass, let's get into 0 on, sprint 38, alert sprint 39. I was like, really now? So I finished the game. We win the AFC West on that day.
He's become the leader of this football team.
But it was a fractured relationship. Obviously, people are hot. I go in on a Tuesday because I called him on a Monday to try to clear the air. He got after me in that meeting. And I said, look, I understand your position. At the end of the day, I am your captain, and you can take the money. I'll apologize to you, whatever you want to do. But we need to put this to bed because we're about to go to playoffs in 2 weeks. That was probably my most intense conversation with him.
That's crazy. Like, that's why,
Player
again,
power.
I think, no, that's just the coach being a moron, to not use another word. But, that's why I don't understand some of these guys who, this isn't a movie. You know what
I know
I mean?
it was long, but I thought that was pretty interesting to hear him talk about.
It just shows how toxic and idiotic they are. Like, that's why, in my opinion, in game time, I'm never screaming. I'm never yelling. The only time I raise my voice is if I feel or I notice effort is not there, attention to detail is not there, things like that. But, everything else, you have to be calm. You're a leader of that team as a head coach or as a position coach. So,
but he's the captain of the team, Dan. Don't forget that. You make him a captain, he has power.
I agree. Like, one thing I've talked about that I liked from one of my coaching mentors, he would meet with captains every Monday, and that was their time to have real conversations to see what the temperature in the locker room is. That's leadership. Now, mind you, those team captains aren't going to hold anyone hostage, but at least there's a back and forth and people are being heard. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was trying to remember about Todd Haley. I think he got into it with the player where there was a physical altercation too. And I don't remember if it was when he was a head coach or if it was when he was an assistant coach with either the Steelers. And I think he was an assistant coach with the Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken. But he got into a physical altercation with somebody where it was bad. I remember that. So when you were showing that, I was like,
at a bar, outside of a bar. He needed hip surgery. On New Year's Eve 2017, then Pittsburgh Steelers offensive coordinator Todd Haley was involved in a physical altercation outside a Pittsburgh bar that resulted in a reported hip injury.
What an idiot.
He also saved Anthony Lynn's life, right? He was the one that saved him from a
No.
car accident.
That was
medical. EMS or
that was what's his name? Was that Todd Haley?
I thought it was Todd Haley. They were working together when he got hit by a car and he pulled them out or something. I could be wrong. But also Todd Haley told Albert Breer not too long ago when Mike Tomlin retired, like old Mike Tomlin stories about how like he wanted to just like shit on every Steelers player, primarily Antonio Brown, and how Mike Tomlin had to kind of step in and be the good guy all the time. So he was a bad cop and he was a good cop, and it kind of worked together to keep him in check. But he was always pissed off. But yeah, he did He did save Anthony Lynn from a car accident, I think.
Yeah, I forgot it was
crazy.
Todd Haley.
That's
All right,
crazy.
folks, thank you guys so much for checking out another episode of the Four Compas Show. We will be getting a lot of stuff next week at Radio Row, so make sure you guys tune in to and hit the notification button. We'll be getting a lot of interviews up there, so make sure you guys check them out. We'll be doing a live from Radio Row, I'm sure, at one point, so make sure you guys check that out. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff cooking for next week, so make sure you guys check it out and jump on over to What's Up Bolts. Dan and I will be breaking down the Mike McDaniel press conference, and the next time you guys see Gilbert and Vic, it'll be in San Francisco. You guys will see Dan and I in the next 3 minutes, so and then after that you'll see us in San Francisco at Radio Row. So again, appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Gilbert, why don't you get us out of here?
Yeah, go check out What's Up Boats. I know you guys don't get tired of the Ramirez brothers. Great insight there on What's Up Boats. I always say nice things about you guys. But time to get going here. Y nos vamos, pues. Vámonos.